lost again, going back around, dreaming of a time when I get things right.
Okay, y'all. I'm starting a dry sourdough starter. I feel like it'll be easier to keep up with. You just keep it in the icebox and you don't have to feed it every day. And then you just pinch off what you need to make a recipe, add water and your choice of flour, let it sit for 3 hours and you have sourdough. So it does take a little bit of pre-planning, but you can do it. So it's 60 grams of, I'm starting my new sourdough starter with einkorn flour, 60 grams of flour to 45 grams of filtered water. And then you're gonna stir it up and put it in your bowl. And then you're gonna massage it in your hands for about 30 seconds, cover it up. Okay, on day 3, you skip day 2, but on day 3, you add 30 grams of flour to 60 grams of water into your dough that has sat for 48 hours. You're gonna give that a good stir and then cover it up again with your plastic wrap and wait 24 hours. 30 grams of water, 60 grams of flour. Give it a stir, cover it for another 24 hours. We're getting there. Okay, y'all. We are doing a dry sourdough starter. This is where you keep this sourdough in your icebox until you're ready to use it. It's a lot less fussy. So I'm trying this method with my einkorn flour. So day 1, just to repeat, here's my sourdough. I've been working on it. This is day 5. But day 1, you mix up 60 grams. And yes, it is better if you use a weigher. So I got this one for like 10 bucks. I'll try to link it below on Amazon. So you want to just make sure that you add 6 grams of flour to 45 grams of filtered water in a bowl. And then you're going to mix that up and then kind of massage it in your hands for, maybe 30 to 60 seconds, roll it, and then put it in your bowl, your glass bowl, and cover it up. And then you're gonna let that sit for 48 hours. On the 3rd day, you're gonna add another 30 grams of water to 60 grams of flour. You're gonna give it a good mix and you're gonna let it sit again. On day 4, you're gonna repeat that process. You're gonna add 30 grams of water and 60 grams of flour, stir, cover, and leave on your counter. Now on the 5th day, you're gonna take out 10% of your sourdough. And so I have this set to grams. And so you're gonna weigh whatever you're measuring in. You're gonna weigh it first. That's 123 grams. And I wanna take out 10%. So I'm just guessing. That's 140, that's a little much. Okay, so 120, so we need 133. So let's try that. That's 136. Oh my gosh, we're literally just taking out pinches of it. And that's 133, perfect. Now you're going to discard that and you're gonna add, now you're gonna add back. So again, this is 123. This is 123. And now you're gonna add 30 grams of water and 60 grams of flour. So I'm using einkorn flour, so we'll measure that out. I don't have any of my einkorn flour grounded, so I'm gonna ground some now. Okay, we need 60 grams of flour. This is 123, so that would be 183 grams. So I'm just gonna add flour until I reach 183. I think it'd be about 3/4 of a cup. $183. So you're gonna add this. And then you're gonna do 30 grams of water. Filter water. So 30 grams would be 153 because I already weighed my container. 153. So you're gonna add that to your bowl and you're gonna give this a good stir, and you're done with your weigher now. You're gonna give this a good stir, and then you're going to put it in. I'm gonna put mine in this little glass container, and I'm gonna leave it on my counter for 10 hours. And it should be bubbly. And if it's not bubbly, mine was already bubbling this morning, had little bubbles on it. But if it's not bubbling, just repeat if necessary. Just repeat the process. We don't keep our house super hot, and mine did pretty well, so I think that yours will do great. Get this all incorporated. Einkorn flour is typically very sticky. So if you're using wheat or regular flours, you probably will not be this sticky. But einkorn is one of the oldest grains, and it has so many health benefits. One, if people are gluten-free, they typically can handle einkorn flour. So you're able to make your pancakes and your breads and your crepes and your pizza dough from einkorn, even if you're gluten-free. Now you want to test that. Make sure that you're okay with it. All right, I'm gonna put it in my container, and then you're just gonna leave it on the counter for 6 to 10 hours. And once it's bubbly, you can put it in the ice box until you're ready to use it. And then I'll show you how to do that. I'm looking forward to this little simpler recipe, this dry sourdough. There it is. You put your lid on it, flip it down, and then you are good to go. Put it in I just put it right there on my counter. And that's it. I'll be back with a recipe. 610 grams without the sourdough, and then I added 30 grams of sourdough. So that measures out to 30 grams, and we will put that in our bowl. Okay, set over here. Okay, now this, you're gonna weigh your bowl, 346. And we're gonna add 120, and that'd be 466. Okay, so we're gonna add, till we get to 466, we're gonna add flour. Almost there. 466, perfect. We're gonna add this to our wet ingredients. Our 3 grams of dry sourdough mixed with 130 grams of warm water. Mix it till everything's dissolved, then add your 120 grams of flour. And then you're gonna cover it, and we're gonna wait for about 2 to 3 hours. Once it starts to bubble and look like your traditional sourdough that you usually leave out on your counter, then we can use it in any of the recipes that you normally use it in, whether it be sourdough pancakes, pizza, English muffins, tortillas, whatever you use sourdough for, your traditional way, you can use the dry method as well. So anyway, we'll check back in 3 hours and make sure it's all good and bubbly, and we'll move on to making our tortillas. Okay, y'all, I let my dough rest for, it said 10 hours, but I went ahead and let mine rest for 24. So it's the next day now, and I'm making tortillas, homemade tortillas, with my sourdough, my dry sourdough starter. You're just going to get about a walnut size in your hand, and then you're just gonna smush it, and you're gonna make a tortilla. Or you can get a rolling pin too and roll it out. But you can also just do the hand method where you just thinning it out and making a tortilla, however big you want it. And then you're gonna cook it on I have a grill built into my stove, but you can use a cast iron skillet or a griddle, whatever. If you have a big family, I'd use a griddle. That way you can get more. And then you're just gonna throw them on the whatever method you choose and cook them up. My first one, and I'm gonna throw it on there. It says 30 seconds on each side. Then I have this tortilla keeper, and a trick is to put a wet paper towel in there and stick it in your microwave for about, I don't know, a minute, yeah, probably about a minute on high. And then when you open it up, it'll be steamy in there. Take the wet paper towel out and you can put your pancakes, your tortillas, whatever you're trying to keep hot when you have to make them in batches. And then you can bring this whole thing to the table and serve it and they'll still be hot. Works, we've been using these for years. Works great. All right, let me turn my griddle up a little more. See if I can give y'all a better shot of that. They're looking good. I'm from South Texas, so I'm always prepared for a tortilla. I keep a little butter and a little saran wrap, a little half a stick or whatever. And then when they get done, like if I make one up for lunch to have with just some refried beans and lettuce and tomatoes, just a quick, easy vegan meal, I just have this wrapped up. And so when we take them off, I'll let that cook. Like I said, I like mine a little burnt. But this is all I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn off the camera in a minute. And because I've got quite a few to make. I got a whole bowl of dough here. So guess what we're having for dinner tonight? All right. So then you just put it here on your thing and you get your little butter that's in your saran wrap and you just use it like that. And you butter the whole thing. Then you have your hot tortilla all buttered up, just like that. Flip that one. All right, let's taste this. So we have been on quite the journey. We started with day one making our sourdough, our dry sourdough starter. All the directions will be in the link below this video, so you can have all your directions written out where you know step by step. So you know you're going to start your dough on the first day, your dry sourdough. Then you're going to skip the second day, and then you're going to feed it again your third and fourth day. And then fifth day you're going to remove 10 grams of it, and then you're going to add back to it. On the sixth day you should have a dry sourdough starter where you can just keep in your icebox whenever you're ready to use it to make pancakes, pizzas, tortillas, whatever you would normally make your use sourdough for, cobblers, just whatever. All you have to do is remember to take a third of, like, I believe it's 30 grams of it every single time, and then you're going to add your, I believe it's 120, I may have this wrong, 120 grams of water to 130 grams of flour, whatever flour you use. And again, the directions will be in the bottom, so the description box, so go ahead and check that out. But that's all you do to get that starter to wake it up again once it's been in the ice box. So the dry sourdough starter is so much better for many reasons, but one of the main reasons I'm choosing to do it is that it wastes a lot less flour. You just keep it in there, and it takes up very little space. You can put it in your ice box. It is not something that has to sit on your counter. You don't have to feed it every day, flour and water. It just takes a lot less to maintain. It's just an easier way to do sourdough in this day and time. So anyway, let me try my einkorn tortillas. Einkorn has a buttery taste to it. Einkorn flour has a very buttery flavor to it without the butter that I put on there. It's just in general a very buttery flour. This is delicious, y'all. So I think, my gosh, that's good. It is so good. I want to sit here and take another bite, but I would have to chew forever to be polite. Anyway, so if you try anything with your new dry sourdough, you should try these flour tortillas. They are delicious. All right, again, thank you for stopping by Simple Living. I'm Michelle Davenport. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, go ahead and do so. I'd appreciate it. Helps YouTube, the more subscribers and likes that I get, YouTube will recommend my videos. And so that's how you get people to know that you even have a channel. So that helps me. So if you do that, I appreciate it. And anyway, thank you for stopping by Simple Living. Enjoy these tortillas. They are fantastic. Now, I've got some tortillas to be making. I gotta go. See you later.